The Frankly Speaking Roof Cam, brought to you by our friends at Boss Security in Horseheads. Contact them today for all your business and home security needs. Welcome back to Frankly Speaking here on WYDC TV Big Fox. I'm your host, Frank Acomb. We are broadcasting from the Hesselson studio, and this is the Steuben County Office for the Aging section of our program. Steuben County Office for the Aging, committed to maximizing quality of life, safety, and independence. And joining us in the Hesselson studio this morning, Kristen, thanks so much for being on the program.
Thank you for having me.
So I've got to do our full disclaimer. Because I am a resident of the town of Erwin and on the Erwin Town Board, there are 3 people running for Steuben County Legislature in the Erwin District, and I'm having each of you on, but all the questions are going to be exactly the same as best as I possibly can, okay?
Yes,
I feel
sir.
like I'm starting a heavyweight fight or something, right? Like,
Right.
touch gloves, begin. But those are the rules that I put forth. Okay, so let's start off with the easy question. Tell us a little bit about your background.
So I own B&W Towing.
Okay.
Me and my husband run it. We have 2 boys that work in it. Been a lifetime resident of Steuben County. I used to be an X-ray CT tech at Corning Hospital for 15 years.
Okay, wow.
So yeah, been in the county and contributing for a while now.
So what made you decide that you wanted to run for Steuben County Legislature?
So I see some changes in the county. We have a new county attorney. We have new legislators. I go to almost all the monthly meetings.
Okay.
Different committees, and I'm seeing change, and I want to be a part of that change.
Would you say that, looking at, if you're lucky enough to be voted into office, do you have goals or do you have a platform that you're running on?
So I'm very new to politics.
Okay, that's okay.
But I want to spend the first, 6-9 months getting to learn what issues on the boards, and tackle what I feel is important. I hope I bring small business to it, and I'd really like to, tackle the sheriff's issues. I think that's very important in our county.
Great, we're going to get to that in just a moment. When you look at when you go to the meetings, what issues do you think that you could potentially face if you're elected?
So I go through the public safety and corrections. So there's law enforcement, 911, fire, in the jails. They're not so much issues, but like passing through like budgets.
Sure.
That's very interesting to me. The finance committee, being a small business owner, I bring a lot to the table for that.
Of course.
And then my background in the health, I could do a lot with the health board and opiates, and I know we have a strong drive in our county for opiate addiction.
There's been 2 probably the biggest stories in the news about Steuben County. And let's start with the first one, and that is recent flooding. Now, this isn't necessarily directed at Erwin, but because it's Steuben County legislative issue, what are your thoughts on perhaps being prepared for flooding?
I think we need more financial funding. I did sit in the county meeting where FEMA might back out of some funding, but I think we need a huge push for more state and federal funding for our area. We've gotten hit, 2 or 3 times now, and it's been devastating. So I would definitely focus on that.
And the second issue, and arguably the biggest issue, has been the county and the sheriff, Sheriff Allard, and that kind of battle over identification. I would love to hear your thoughts on that.
So I think the county should stand behind the sheriff and any law enforcement. They protect our county. They, it's a huge county. And
Yeah.
they run shifts. But I think we definitely need to stand behind law enforcement.
Yeah.
And
Now you had mentioned that you're new to politics.
Yes.
So the petition process, we always joke about on this program because it's in the middle of winter and there's a whole bunch of issues with that, and we don't need to have that conversation necessarily. But how did the petition process go for you?
It went good. So I got out of my wheelhouse. It definitely was a learning experience. I got to meet voters, and I actually got to meet, some customers that we've served, and got to hear stories about how we help them. But just getting out there and getting to know the people of the county was very, very enlightening.
What did those people, as you knocked on the door, what did you find to be the biggest issue that was their concerns as they talked with you?
The sheriff, they wanted to make sure that, we stand behind law enforcement because they protect their housing, our businesses. That's what was the biggest one.
Now, it's kind of an interesting process because this is a short time frame. You basically just handed in your petitions. It seems like yesterday, but it was a little bit ago. And then, of course, the primary vote coming up in June. Now, if you win the primary, you have all the way till November to campaign. But with this short time frame, what does your campaign look like?
So we have a Facebook page.
Okay.
I've been going out, still meeting people, going to meetings, just getting out there, getting your name out there.
And this question came up kind of inadvertently on yesterday's program. Would you be open to a debate if there is one that is set forth?
Yeah.
Okay.
I absolutely would.
So my next question is how people can help or find out more about your campaign. You mentioned the Facebook post. Is that probably the best way to do that?
The best way to do that, reach out to me on Facebook or, call the office at B&W Towing if you have a certain issue you want me to address.
Okay. And finally, before people head to the voting booth on primary day, what do you say to the voters?
I'm very new to this. I am a blue-collar worker, so I definitely will work for Steuben County people and come out and vote for me on the 24th.
Well, perfect. Thanks so much for being on the program. I hope we can do this again before primary day, okay?
We can do that.
All right. We'll be right back with Frankly Speaking here on WYDC TV. Big Fox, stay with us.